So I love couch co-op. There's nothing quite like having a friend over and playing a video game with him or her. And I think a lot of people were surprised that I actually do all my couch co-op on a PC. But PC is actually ridiculously good for couch co-op. Now, one thing to note is I actually connect my PC to a 65-inch TV in my living room. I find that with couch co-op, it's generally a little better to have a big TV for everyone to look at. I mean, you can kind of do it on a computer monitor as well, but a bigger TV is generally a little bit more fun. In addition, my PC connecting to a computer also serves my media station. So I actually use it to watch YouTube or to watch movies and the like. I think one question people might ask would be, if I'm connecting my PC to a TV, do I do all my regular computer stuff using the TV as my monitor? And the answer is no. So what I do is I do a dual monitor setup. I connect a computer monitor to my computer, and if I'm working or making this video, I would use that computer monitor. But I connect the television to my PC as well. So if I'm watching movies or I'm gaming with my friends, I would turn on the television and use that screen for gaming or for watching media. So I'm getting kind of the best of both worlds there. I can use a computer monitor for just doing regular computer stuff, and I use a big TV for my gaming and media stuff. And again, all I do is connect a television with an HDMI cable to my computer's video card. Very straightforward.
So I want to do an overview of how to best do local multiplayer at home. And the idea here is to be able to play with your friends or family. And obviously, if you're doing local multiplayer at home, you would ideally have your house as kind of the meat spot. So you would kind of be the host. The first thing is cost. So obviously, PC is more expensive than consoles, right? Well, not exactly. Well, for a start, a PlayStation 5 controller costs you like $80, whereas I can get a regular, PC gamepad for like $25. Now, if you have 4 controllers, well, if you're going for a PlayStation, assuming your PlayStation came with 1 controller, just buying 3 controllers alone, that's $240. Whereas I can get 4 PC gamepads for $100. And again, that'd be a wired one, but again, PC have a bit more versatility. If you're buying a wireless one, that might cost you $40 instead of $20. I mean, you're paying a bit more, but again, still much cheaper than paying 4 PlayStation controllers.
But to factor in cost, you also have to factor in the cost of multiple consoles. Let's suppose you have a Switch for all the, family games and Nintendo exclusives. But then you realize that you also want AAA games, so you get a PlayStation. Pretty typical setup, owning a PlayStation and a Switch. That's now quite expensive. But what if you get controllers for both systems? You're getting 4 PlayStation 5 controllers, $80 a piece, and then you get a full set of Nintendo controllers for the Switch? Yeah, quickly, that adds up to being much more expensive than a gaming PC. And, if I'm running a Switch emulation on my gaming PC, I can just use regular, inexpensive PC game controllers. Because, Nintendo consoles and PlayStations, their controllers are not mutually compatible. On the PC, it's a single platform, in which case no matter what emulators you're using, all your controllers work for it. And the controllers are cheap. So yeah, I suppose if you get a single PlayStation with like 1 or 2 controllers, that could be cheaper than a gaming PC. But if you're getting multiple controllers, if you're doing multiple systems, PC gaming is absolutely cheaper.
Of course, next we'll be talking about hardware costs, about how PC is more expensive than consoles. Well, no, that's not true at all. And that might have been true maybe 10 years ago, but right now we have what's called diminishing returns, in which case you have so much hardware, but you're really not getting that much out of it. I mean, compare the graphics quality of a PS4 to a PS5. A lot of games you can barely tell the difference. And that's running at 4K resolution. So if you're using even like a 7-year-old PC, you could just run everything in 1080 or even 720p to allow your games to run smoothly. So you don't need top-of-line hardware. Because now, I suppose, if you want to play everything in 4K, 8K resolutions, then yeah, you're going to need some expensive hardware. But if you want to just play most games at a decent frame rate, then no, you do not need a $1,000 PC. You can get something cheap secondhand. You can get, a budget PC, and it will be serviceable. So for instance, most couch co-op games aren't even, top-of-the-line AAA with high graphics qualities. If you think of some of the games I have on my channel, stuff like Rayman, Sonic All-Star Racing, like none of these games require high-end hardware. They can be played on decade-old PCs, and I have played them on PCs that are a decade old. So if you think about it, you get, a decent second-hand rig for $300. Then you get 4 PC gamepads for $100. Right there, that's it. You invest $400 and you're good to go.
Another annoying thing about consoles are that their controllers are not even backwards compatible. If you have a PlayStation 5 and a PlayStation 3 or a PlayStation 4, well, none of their controllers work with each other. So you need an entirely new set of controllers for all of them. That means more money, more space taken up, more of a hassle, more batteries to charge. Again, with a PC, it's not a problem. I can use the same Keezy gamepad I have for 10 years, and I'm still using it, and I can keep on using the same gamepad, because, again, PC doesn't obsolete its own controllers as you upgrade their hardware. And also, the Switch and the Wii do not have compatible controllers. So I already have a full set of Wiimotes, but, for a Switch, I need to get new Switch controllers. How annoying is that? Whereas I can play, on my PC, I can play Dolphin emulation, or GameCube emulation, and I can play Switch emulation with the exact same PC-compatible gamepads. Very, very simple, straightforward, and cheaper. Personally, I have no intention of owning 20 different controllers over 4 different consoles to take up space in my house. Now, another huge advantage that PC has is hard drive space. PlayStation 5 comes with an 825 gigabyte SSD. Well, my PC motherboard has 4 SATA ports, so I could connect 2 terabyte SSD and a regular disk drive onto my PC and still have extra space for more hard drives. And, storage size is a big deal. Being able to have more SSD space means more games with less loading screens.
Now, next will be about the library. I mean, you're thinking PC games don't have that many couch co-op games, right? Well, it's actually not true. PC has the highest amount of local multiplayer games, and all my local multiplayer games on PC. Not only is it better than every other console, except for maybe Nintendo, but you have emulation. I mean, technically emulation isn't PC platform, but it is because you can play it on a PC. So if you want to play a lot of Nintendo exclusives, you can play it on a PC. Well, maybe not all of them. Again, some games don't run that well on emulation mode, but there's a good, massive Nintendo library of local couch games that you can play on a PC. Again, if you want to emulate PlayStation, you really have one game, which is Gundam vs. Gundam. Again, that's a PlayStation exclusive. I don't know why. I mean, Nintendo's also Japanese. I don't know why there's no, Nintendo ports of the Gundam vs. Gundam games, but those are the other big games that you probably want to emulate. Now, if you're emulating Xbox, I mean, all you really have is Halo, which isn't terrible, but again, it's just not like Nintendo with this massive library that you want to emulate. So, alternatively, if you really die-hard Nintendo fan, you probably can get a Nintendo console anyways, but I still think PC's better. Next great things about PC will be stuff like recording. Again, PC has the most robust recording software, if you want to record a gameplay. Yeah, I mean, the PlayStation has some good casting software as well, but generally PC gives you more versatility. PC also gives you options of mods. Again, not every game has modding support, but for those that do, that's a huge advantage. In fact, the PC version of Skyrim actually has a local multiplayer mod. It's not split screen, so it doesn't work that well, but I mean, the point is that, the functionality is there through modding. Otherwise, one major problem I do have with the PC are really bad ports. For example, would be the Halo port for the PC versions. Again, all split screen is removed, which is, again, really, really bad, because the whole reason to play Halo is split screen, and they remove it. I mean, that is frustrating, but still, you're still getting more options, especially considering the fact that you can use emulation. In terms of Nintendo emulation, you have multiple consoles. You have Nintendo 64 emulation, which any PC can run. We're talking, 20-year-old work laptops can run in 64 emulation, which gives you Super Smash Brothers. Otherwise, you can have Dolphin, which gives you GameCube and Wii emulation. That will give you Super Smash Brothers Brawl. But the Switch emulator is probably what's going to give you more modern games, which, again, would include stuff like Super Mario Odyssey. Again, pretty important games to emulate. In terms of Nintendo exclusives, again, there's quite a few. One thing about Nintendo exclusives is that they don't really have real competition. I mean, like Super Smash Brothers, there's no real competition to that game. If you want to play a game like Super Smash, you're going to have to play a Super Smash. You have some indie ones like Towerfall. It's not as good as Super Smash. You have that Nickelodeon game. It kind of sucks. Again, you have the PlayStation kind of their version of Super Smash, and again, I don't know why they don't put more resources into it. Super Smash definitely needs some competition because there isn't really, a comparator to Super Smash. If you want to play Super Smash, you gotta play Nintendo or you're emulating it. Now there is Mario Kart, but there is a direct competitor, which is Sonic All-Star Racing. I would say both games are fairly comparable. However, Sonic All-Star Racing Transformed is full multi-plat, so you can play a native PC. Where, again, if you're playing Mario Kart, you're either going to use Nintendo or you can have it emulate. Otherwise, if you're emulating PlayStation, again, it'll be Gundam versus Gundam. There isn't anything else that's relevant. Because part of it is not necessarily that PlayStation is good games, is that if the game is already multi-plat, you're going to just play the PC version anyways. Otherwise, PlayStation exclusives, I mean, there isn't that much that you would need to emulate. Again, unless you really want a specific kind of title.
Okay, so I've kind of explained the benefits of PC gaming, and now I'm going to explain some of the disadvantages. So the first problem itself is Windows is kind of bad. Well, Windows 7 is good, Windows 10 and Windows 11 are not. But I use Windows 11 Ghost Spectre, which is a modded version of Windows, and it's actually a really, really good operating system. In fact, I actually like it better than Linux. So yes, Windows is a bit of a problem, but it's a problem that we don't have to deal with by simply just using a modded version of Windows. You don't have to use Ghost Spectre, but there's plenty of lighter weight of Windows that runs a lot better. Next problem is, of course, intrusive DRM. Now, thankfully, older titles generally have intrusive DRM removed. Otherwise, there are ways of going around DRM. But the biggest problem with PC gaming is the awful ports. Now, some games, like Skyrim, the PC version is by far the definitive version due to mod support. But there are some ports to PC that are just so obscenely awful. A good example was Halo. Again, probably the greatest split-screen game ever made. The PC version has no split screen on them. On any of the Halo ports to PC, including the Master Chief Collection. Which is extremely bizarre about this is Microsoft actually makes Windows. So this is Microsoft giving their own users the middle finger. I mean, this is one of the biggest companies in the world and they can't put split screen on a PC port. Anyway, so that was just a bit of a rant. But overall, PC is still the best experience for gaming.